Mike, what's up, buddy?
Stacy, what's happening? Good to see you.
Yeah, sitting down here in sunny Orlando, Florida, getting ready for this eXp Sprint event. So it's nice weather. What's weather like up in Atlanta?
You know, it's a little chilly. The sun is beaming. I got the sun coming in pretty strong over here, but we're doing well. I'd like to be down there next time for sure.
Yeah, all in due time. Well, listen, man, I wanted to jump on a quick Facebook Live here and talk a little bit about why Mike Price's team made the move over to eXp. And I had reached out to you, gosh, I don't know how long ago, and told you, you obviously knew I'd made the move over to eXp after really only ever being at one brokerage, KW, for 10 years. And I said, hey, man, do me a favor, come over, check out this business model and tell me if I've lost my mind or not. Because I trust you. You've been in the business. You've seen a couple different business models. So I guess that's how it started. So I kind of want to let people know what your thought process was, because you've been in the business longer than I have. You've seen different models and wanted you to kind of speak to that. So tell me a little bit about your background. I mean, obviously I know you from KW, but give me a little bit of history.
Well, I appreciate that. So like you, I've only been with just a few brokerages. I mean, I started out in 1998 with Coldwell Banker and was there for a very short time. And then I went to Remax and I was with Remax for about 9 years. And then when the market crashed, I went to a smaller little boutique, very low budget model. And then I joined Keller Williams in 2011. And so I don't move around much like you. I'm pretty loyal and like things to be the same. You came to me and asked me to take a look at this and poke holes in it. And I looked at it and I didn't quite grasp it at first. And I like a lot of folks, hey man, I really like where I'm at. And I don't want to move. It's too much of a distraction. And you stayed in touch, and we kept talking about it. We've been friends for a long time. And the more I learned about it, the more it started to make financial sense. From just from a business standpoint. And when COVID hit, that kind of changed the landscape for all of us, right? Yeah. And so we're pretty much virtual anyway. I didn't think that was possible, and we are having our best year ever in a global pandemic, while we're 90% virtual for most of the year. So that was another big reason that I decided to make the move, because it just makes a lot more sense. It's a much more fluid platform, if you will, and just it's much more agent centric.
Exactly. Yeah, and so with that being said, so in terms of, you and I are both business guys, so it had to make business sense, right? It had to make financial sense. Mm-hmm. But you and I have talked a long time, and for us, and I won't put words in your mouth, but we really wanted to get around a group of, top agents that are running true businesses to where we could collaborate. Because once, I remember you and I talking, we got stuck at 17 million, and now we've both moved our businesses up to roughly 30 million in volume, and we're sitting around going, all right, man, what's the next coach we're hiring, right, at $2,000 a month to help get us to 60 million. And then, I bumped into a guy named Dan Beer, who at the time was at Keller Williams. He was in Gary Keller's top 100, is in his mastermind. And those are the masterminds where, all the big thinkers are. So the maintenance guy walking around here. So that's where all the big thinkers were, right? Well, after I was chatting with Dan, man, these guys have big businesses. I met Dan Beer and Kyle Whistle, both, they're out of San Diego. They both have $250, $300 million businesses. Mm-hmm. Tina Cole out of North Carolina. And that mastermind blew once I was at that mastermind, my head exploded, because here are all these top producing agents where we all would consider, like you and I would even consider each other competitors, right? In a sense. Yeah. A little bit of a scarcity mentality, considering, we could sell 200 homes a year. You could sell 200 homes a year, and there's plenty of homes for everybody else to see. So often I talk about an abundant mentality, and man, these people were just opening up their playbook, showing us everything that they do. So that was a huge factor for me in getting around, for me making the move, probably in similar kind of talking to you, was like, who are we going to get around to help elevate us? Who's going to help elevate our business from 30 million? Who are we going to pick up the phone and call? So for you too, was it, from what you've seen thus far and what you've plugged into from a collaboration level, what does that look like? Like, tell me a little bit about, because, I'm more of a systems guy. It's kind of what, you've been a top producer in sales basically since you've been in the business. So speak to a little into that piece of it.
So the collaboration. So when you got back from that mastermind and we talked, I guess that's probably one of the times the light bulb really went off. Because like you said, you can hire the next coach. And I've had great coaches.
Yep, 100%.
Wonderful, who would help me get where I am. But unless you get into Gary's mastermind, you're just getting it secondhand. And now with the collaboration, being around Kyle and Dan and guys like that, it's open door anytime. My systems are your systems, and the collaboration is incredible because, like Dan said, they have a fiduciary responsibility now that we're in their group and in business with them, really.
Yep.
And so, you and I were grinding hard trying to get out of that 17, 18, 19 million. And now we're, 30 plus. And what really excited me was being around people that are doing it. I mean, you got to be around people that are doing it much, much higher than you.
Yep.
Because if you're talking to $60 million people, you're going to be around, that's where you're going to end up. And these guys are like an open book. Here you go. What do you need? I mean,
exactly.
What can I do to help you grow your business? I mean, can I help you move forward? And that was one of the big things for me. It just the alignment with the top producers and being able to be with them anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for me, that was the biggest move. I mean, that was getting around people that have got businesses much bigger. I mean, listen, somebody wants to sell 100 homes a year and they're perfect happy. Hey, there's a place, right?
Yeah.
You and I are just a little different mindset that, we want to take over the world and grow big businesses. And it's what gets us out of the bed in the morning. It's allowed us to have a lot of opportunity to help agents on our team grow and let them grow a more abundant life. So that's the exciting part to me. And that was kind of the main piece. I think the one big thing that started changing, and I'll have you speak into that, was there's such good financial alignment at eXp from not only stock, revenue share, and the thing that I really liked was, EXPI is the holding company for eXp, right? It's a publicly traded company. All their ancillary businesses are in EXPI. So as we agents help drive the sales, the revenue, the profit for the company, we all get rewarded, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And as other agents in the business do well, that also helps pull up the company per se, right? Stock price goes up and we all win. So the agent at eXp to me is at the top. We're owners, right? We all have ownership in the game. We are awarded stock through doing what we've always do, is selling homes, right? Producing homes. And I think the bigger thing I saw, and I say this all the time, and some people laugh and some people it opens their eyes. I'm like, real estate agents never retire. They just die, right?
Yeah.
So in looking 10 years down the road, now I'll probably sell homes till I die. It's in my blood. I love it. Like, I found my sweet spot. You're probably not any different. But I think, I won't speak for you, but agents are going to want a choice. In 10 years, let's say they've got 10 years left in the business. What does that look like down the road? Now, if they haven't invested in rental properties or bought and flipped or figured some way to have, or, done well in the stock market, whatever their poison is how do they get out? What do they do? Like, can they sell their business? Very few agents can actually sell their business, right? Or their book of business. And so as I looked down the road, I was like, boom, I saw those other two. And you and I weren't at Keller Williams. Keller Williams came into Atlanta in 1999. Right. And, you and I were both in that great environment. And we heard of all the fun stories back then in 99 when they started up this little, because RE/MAX was the dominant agent or dominant company here. Up until the crash in 09, RE/MAX was by far the largest brokerage in Metro Atlanta. And when KW introduced their business model, which was brilliant at the time because it was a capped model, right? And they had profit share. Well, they brought in this brilliant new model and it upended RE/MAX, especially when the market crashed, because RE/MAX model wasn't market resistant, right? Well, you and I wasn't even in the business at the time. You weren't in at KW, so we didn't experience into that early growth and being able to attract agents and then get rewarded through profit share. So I think that's one of the other things I had called when we talked about it was, hey, man, this is our blue ocean time where we can be in early on a company that I do believe is the next business model, because it's not a franchise. You don't have all the regional ownership and the local market centers. It's truly a virtual platform that's run on software to where it makes collaboration super seamless, basically throughout the country. And since it's not a franchise, that's why eXp's grown so fast. You know, when I first talked to Dan, it was 5,000 agents, and as we sit today, it's 36,000 agents. There's no borders. There's nothing on that end. So that part got me excited, because from an agent that, I mean, you know me, we collaborate quite often, you know, and share what we know. I think you and I both have an abundant mentality. Well, now this allows us to attract other agents to this model and basically become their fiduciary, in the sense that we're going to open up our playbooks, right?
Yeah.
Agents that are, hey, they're at 8 million, they're trying to get to 16 million, or they're at 20 trying to get to 30. Well, we have that playbook. And for us, especially, this is an abundant mentality play, but they can come over to Mike Price office and see, like, Mike, how do you sell so many? It's like you, an assistant, and you're selling 100 homes. How do you do that? Well, this is the model, and it's, you know, we're all in perfect alignment. And we talk about it all the time. It's like, you know, you call me on a Friday at 5. Well, I usually pick up the phone for Mike anyway, right? Or we text through it. But as partners join us over at eXp, they call me Friday on 5 when I've had a rough week. I'm ready to go home. You know, it's a tough week in real estate. Well, that phone now gets easier to pick up, because we're all financially aligned. And that's the collaboration and the fun that I saw at eXp, and this part that I wanted, you know, I had called you and said, man, take a look at this. You've been in the business. You've seen the different business models and what you thought about that. So can you speak to a little bit of the financial alignment that you've seen, or because you've seen a couple different iterations between Remax, KW, and now eXp. So speak to that a little bit.
Well, to your point about selling houses and realtors, you know, how much longer you have in the business, the day you sell your last house, that's it. There may be a little bit of ongoing referral, but pretty much it falls off the cliff if you're not doing it every day. And, you know, when we're selling houses, you and I mean, it's more about opportunities we're creating, not only for our clients and for our people on our team. Well, being in alignment with everybody at eXp, you and I are able to create through what we know and through what Dan and Kyle and all those guys know, we can create opportunities for a lot more people. And so so Keller Williams in 99, had we jumped in at that point, you and I would have been owners of multiple market centers, because that's how we're driven. Well, that's where eXp is now. And so without the brick and mortar, we have the opportunity to have the same kind of financial reward without all the huge investment of the brick and mortar. And so,
or the risk, just the risk alone too.
The risk, I mean, like we get rewarded for doing what you and I are going to sell houses no matter where we are, and help clients. But you know, you get your stock back in, your cap back in stock. You can buy stock for 10% of market value, and then there's the agent attraction, the revenue share, which is huge, and that's, you know, for helping others see the value and see the opportunity. You know, we get rewarded for that, and the risk is much, much lower. I mean, it's just sharing what you know with other people and helping them grow. That's what I really like about it. It's just how many people, like, it took me, I first heard about eXp 3 years ago. It took me 3 years to finally pull the trigger, and I wish I'd done it earlier. And you know, we are in a unique opportunity here in Georgia, because there's just not a lot of folks in it right now. And to be able to go into like a playbook, like if somebody comes to you and I and says, hey, I'm stuck at 6 million. Well, we know exactly how to get them to 10 million in the same year, or probably double it. And to be able for someone to be able to come over and get that information and shadow us and just follow our lead, and us doing that on the higher level with Dan and Kyle and guys, that's something that you really can't put a price on. It's just an incredible opportunity.
You can put a price on it, right? Like $1,000 a month coach, which we've all had. You and I both have coaches, and we'll probably always have coaches. I mean, the greatest athletes in the world have coaches. However, and we're getting into playbooks of somebody's doing 5 million gross commission every single year, you know, between Dan, our sponsor, Kyle, we get Jay Kinder on the phone. Chuck Fazio, I'm like, we can just go on and on and on about the financial alignment we have when we're stuck. We're like, hey, I'm ready to hire a director of sales. Well, send me, Dan called me. He's like, dude, send me over your profit and loss statement and I'll tell you if you're ready. Right. So those are the type of conversations that would cost us $500 a phone call to where now we can call somebody doing business well over our head and give us some guidance. I mean, those 30-minute phone calls are like extraordinary. And the access, probably, and I won't put it like access to me was the biggest thing. It's like all the financial alignment and everything else that came over, like the stock, right? Or the revenue share was all gravy. However, on my vision board, I have a goal for 7 streams of income, right? I got caught up in the 2009 to where I was in corporate. They shut that company down. I was without a job, and that's how I got into this business. Well, I made a declaration then I'll never have just one stream of income. And eXp's offered the ability to add, outside of us just doing what we normally do, right? Buy and sell, helping people buy and sell houses, which you and I thoroughly enjoy. You've got revenue share and you've got stock for just helping the company grow, like adding agents, supporting them. So, and it takes and it takes an abundant mentality, because there's a lot of scarcity in the marketplace to where like, why the hell would Mike Price show, like he lives in Roswell, I live in Roswell. Why would we share playbooks, right? Like we're competitors. So this is a massive, abundant mindset. And I think you and I have always lived in that arena. However, now basically just what you explained is now we have the opportunity to share everything we know with our crew, with the, with our network of people that join us at eXp to help them to grow the business to whatever level they want to, right? They want to sell 50 homes a year and they're hot. Hey, so be it. We've got the game plan for 25, 50, 75, 100, right? So yeah, so that's pretty exciting. Well, cool, man. Well, anything else we want to do before we pop off here? At least wanted just to kind of connect with you, pick your brain a little bit, talk a little bit about the business model, and welcome you to eXp.
Well, I appreciate it, man. And it's like anything else. There's, and like Jay Kinder said, and by the way, Jay and Dan, I've had conversations with them, and both these guys are like at the top of their game.
Oh yeah.
And both of them are like, hey, this is my cell phone, lock it in. Anytime you need me, give me a call.
Yep.
Like instantly. And you can't, you have to buy that in other places.
Yeah.
And, to have that kind of support. And I'll say this, it took me, like, I don't move around. Some people are going to look at it and they don't get it. Yep. And like Jay said, you really got to just take a minute and look at it and just poke holes in it. And if it's not for you, don't do it. But for guys like me and you, we don't move around.
Yep.
And for us to make a move like this just tells the story that this is where real estate is going.
Yep.
And right now is a good time to get in it because we're in the beginning stages of it.
Absolutely. And what I would say to that, is there's going to be a lot of people that, hey, are perfectly fine where they're at. And hey, that's awesome. Also, you've got to be open, especially if you're a business person, right? If you're running a business, you should at least owe it to yourself to explore a model, right? Be open to the opportunity, at least look through it. And listen, if it doesn't work for you, so be it. However, as a business professional, especially when it comes to the financial component of this, right? You owe it to your family at that sense to at least take a look at the opportunity, see if it fits, and go deep. Because I'll tell you a little story, and we can depart on this. It was pretty interesting back in the day when Remax was the dominant company. KW stepped in, and Remax would just completely destroy KW, right? It was like, hey, drinking the Kool-Aid and MLM and all this stuff. So one thing I learned at KW is if you don't tell your own story, somebody else will, right? So you owe it to yourself to at least look at the model, poke holes in it, right? But take a look at the opportunity and see if it's made for you, which is what you did. And I'm glad you made the move. And you and I are going to do some awesome things. We're already doing some incredible things. So I'm looking forward to it, man, and helping really seeing both of our teams blossom. So we'll enjoy the crazy election day, brother. I'm down in Orlando, so can't wait to see the fireworks and how that show ends.
Yeah, it's gonna be some fireworks, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, well, cool, man. Well, I'm gonna bring back some good information from Orlando, and I'll catch you back in Atlanta.
Okay, man. Safe travels. It's good
All right,
to
brother.
see
Have a
you.
good week.
Thanks, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, see you.